The tension at Ibrox is reaching new heights, and the pressure is starting to leave visible cracks, not just in the dressing room, but now clearly in the public posture of Russell Martin. After another wave of criticism echoed through the stands, the Rangers manager finally broke his silence in a way that signals not just frustration, but a clear divide forming between parts of the support and the people inside the club. His recent comments were raw, emotional, and, above all, revealing of the turmoil behind the scenes. It's becoming impossible to ignore the growing disconnect between what the fans are demanding and what Martin feels he's trying to build. In a press conference that was always going to be tough, Martin was forced to address the chorus of negativity that has surrounded the team in recent weeks. From protests before games to open chants of frustration during them, the atmosphere at Ibrox has soured, and the manager knows it. But instead of deflecting or hiding, Martin chose to confront it head-on, making it clear that the criticism cuts deep, not just professionally, but personally. He admitted that hearing claims his team looks uncoached was particularly painful. For a man who prides himself on structure, philosophy, and detailed training groundwork, this was more than just noise. It was a jab at the very identity he's trying to instill in this Rangers side. And yet, there's also a sense that Martin is trying to hold on to the belief that adversity can become opportunity. He spoke openly about the challenge of delivering results while embedding a new style, acknowledging that while his team is far from the finished article, there is progress being made behind the scenes. But let's be honest, progress is hard to sell when results aren't there. The fans are not only watching the scoreboard, they're watching performances, body language, and direction. And right now, a growing number simply aren't convinced. Martin made it clear he's not trying to silence the fans. In fact, he said he respects their right to protest and understands their frustration. But he also stressed that those outside the training ground don't see the level of work that goes on day in, day out. According to him, the commitment is there, the hours are being put in, and the intention is honest. But commitment doesn't shield anyone from scrutiny, especially not at a club the size of Rangers. The expectation isn't just to work hard, it's to win. And not just win occasionally, but win consistently, in style, and with purpose. Anything less, and the questions start. What stood out even more, though, was the personal toll all of this seems to be taking. Martin opened up about being unwell the week prior, battling a chest infection while still dragging himself out of bed to take training. He shared that his daughter had spent multiple nights in hospital during the same week. Despite all that, he stood on the touchline and tried to project control, even when his own body was giving up. The image of him wanting to sit down after the hour mark, but forcing himself to stay standing because of how it might be perceived says everything about the kind of pressure he's under. This is not just about tactics or selections anymore. This is about survival in one of the most intense footballing environments in the world. But while Martin might be struggling with the weight of expectation, he remains adamant that the people inside the building still back him. He mentioned feeling strong support from the players, the staff, and even ownership. That, in his view, is the foundation for riding out this storm. He believes that if the internal belief remains, the external noise can eventually be drowned out by results. It's a bold claim, and one that's going to be tested heavily in the coming weeks. When asked about the impact a positive result this weekend could have, Martin didn't hold back. He said it could be transformative, not just for the mood around the club, but for individual players who are struggling with confidence. And again, he pointed to a pattern. Every club he's taken over, he said, was in some kind of trouble. That's why he was brought in, to fix, to build, to implement something new. The problem is, Rangers isn't just another club. This is an institution with standards that don't allow for long-term patience unless short-term signs are convincing. That's where things are getting complicated. Martin is trying to preach patience while managing urgency. He's talking about process and growth in an environment that demands instant results. That's a near impossible balance, especially when the stands are already turning. He reflected on the collective energy of the club and the potential that could come if the team pushes through this tough moment. But potential doesn't earn you points on the table. Wins do. And right now, those have been far too inconsistent to silence the critics. What makes all of this even more delicate is that Martin isn't just facing tactical questions. He's facing emotional ones. He revealed that his family has been affected by the negativity. His parents reading critical articles, his loved ones feeling helpless watching him get booed, all while he tries to shield them from the realities of this job. And perhaps the most telling part? Martin said he chose Rangers over other opportunities because of the intensity. He wanted this challenge. He knew it would be hard, but wanting it doesn't make it easier to live through. The reality is, Rangers fans aren't just angry for the sake of it. They've seen this story before. Promising starts, exciting words, ambitious projects, and then a collapse when the pressure really starts to mount. There's a fear that the club is once again slipping into that cycle, and Martin is the latest to be caught in the middle of it. His comments were full of conviction, but conviction alone won't keep him in the job. Results will. And then came the update on Nico Raskin. The Belgian midfielder has been a subject of debate himself recently, with questions swirling about his absence and attitude. Martin hinted that the situation with Raskin may have actually been a necessary moment, not just for the player, but for the group. He spoke about Raskin's growth as both a footballer and a human being, suggesting this could be a turning point. According to Martin, Raskin has trained well and will be back in the squad, offering a potential boost in midfield. But again, this is another case of wait and see. Fans want to know not just if a player is back, but if he's going to impact games immediately. Sentiment has little value right now. Tangible performances are what matter. Meanwhile, another layer of drama continues to hover over Ibrox with the lingering shadows of former boss Philippe Clement. In a recent interview, Clement chose not to dwell on his abrupt dismissal, calling it too delicate to discuss. But reading between the lines, there's clearly still some sting there. His tenure ended in frustration, with Rangers far behind Celtic and suffering key losses that ultimately sealed his fate. Yet Clement insists he still holds the respect of those in Glasgow and believes he left behind a body of work that shouldn't be dismissed lightly. He's now recovering from surgery and weighing up his next move, but made it clear he's not ready to step away from the day-to-day of club management. For some Rangers fans, his words may reignite thoughts about whether the club was too quick to pull the trigger. For others, it's just a reminder of how chaotic the managerial carousel has become. All of this paints a picture of a club teetering on a knife's edge. Between protests, pressure, underperformance, and personal strain, the atmosphere around Rangers is becoming toxic. Russell Martin might be trying to navigate it with grace and honesty, but time is running out. He's not just fighting to implement a philosophy anymore. He's fighting to survive. Russell Martin's vision for Rangers is under siege, and what's becoming increasingly clear is that ideals alone won't be enough to steady the ship. While the manager continues to speak with passion and purpose, the atmosphere surrounding the club suggests something deeper is broken, a disconnect not just between supporters and results, but between belief and reality. The fans have waited long enough. They've heard promises of structure, identity, long-term plans, but the reality they're seeing on the pitch doesn't match the narrative being told in press conferences. And when that happens at a club like Rangers, the backlash is inevitable. It's not that Martin lacks charisma or conviction. He speaks with clarity and seems genuinely invested in the club's success. But in Glasgow, words come cheap. Points are currency, and right now Rangers are not rich. What's more troubling is that Martin appears to be trying to build something while also fighting fires on all fronts. That never ends well. No manager can thrive under constant scrutiny unless they're winning football matches. The grace period is long gone. The fan base is restless, and if results don't shift fast, it's not just the project that'll collapse, it's Martin's tenure. In his comments, Martin referred multiple times to the people inside the building, the players, the staff, the board, all backing him. But the question that lingers is, for how long? Loyalty from within can only last so long without justification. Players may like the manager, staff may respect him, and owners may still support the direction. But if the fans revolt and the league table reflects underachievement, that internal support begins to wobble. And right now, there's a storm of discontent brewing around Ibrox that no one on the inside can afford to ignore. When Martin touched on the emotional cost, the personal strain of hearing his name jeered, his family reading headlines, his own health taking a hit, there was a sense of vulnerability that's rare to hear in the modern game. But while that honesty may earn him sympathy in some corners, it won't be enough to shield him from the brutal expectations that come with the job. Rangers are not a mid-table team rebuilding in silence. This is a club expected to challenge for titles, play with authority, and carry a legacy. That weight doesn't lift because of illness or family issues, and Martin knows that. He even said it himself. If you want to enjoy the highs, you've got to take the lows. There's also an undercurrent here of a manager still trying to prove himself to a fan base that hasn't fully bought in. Rangers fans are some of the most passionate and demanding in Europe. They don't just want fight. They want clarity, confidence, and a team that plays with conviction. And right now, conviction is what's missing. Too many performances have lacked structure. Too many matches have ended with more questions than answers. And while Martin talks about a process, the supporters are asking when they'll actually see it come to life on the pitch. Then there's the matter of mentality. Martin mentioned the psychological impact of a potential win this weekend. And while he's right that confidence is everything in football, it's not just about picking up a single result. It's about proving that the team can respond under pressure, that they can bounce back and play like a side worthy of the badge. That's been missing. The reaction to setbacks has been flat, and too often the team looks fragile when tested. That's not a tactical issue alone. That's about leadership, accountability, and belief. Qualities that the fans used to see weekly from Rangers' sides, but are now struggling to find. Martin's mention of Nico Raskin brought another layer to the discussion. The midfielder's situation was shrouded in silence for weeks, leading to wild speculation. But now, with Martin finally opening up, it seems there was more to it than just fitness. His comments hinted at a lesson, both for the player and for the squad. That Raskin needed to learn something, that the team needed to understand what really matters. It's subtle, but the message is clear. Attitude and commitment behind closed doors are just as crucial as ability on match day. Whether or not this episode truly changes anything remains to be seen, but it's another sign of a manager who is trying to instill discipline and maturity in a group that might not be entirely ready for it. What's fascinating here is the sense that Martin still genuinely believes in what he's building. He talks about previous jobs, about clubs that were struggling when he arrived, and how he turned things around. He references the size of Rangers as something that amplifies both the challenge and the reward. That belief hasn't faded. But what may be fading is the time he has left to turn that belief into reality. At a club like Rangers, seasons are defined by trophies and dominance, not slow progress and personal growth. The narrative of development only holds weight when it's paired with results. And at the moment, that pairing isn't happening. On top of all this, the echoes of past failures continue to haunt the club. Philippe Clement's name may not be shouted from the terraces anymore, but his words in the Belgian press serve as a reminder of how quickly things can unravel. His refusal to dive into the details of his dismissal suggests bitterness, or at the very least, unfinished business. And for fans, it's another layer of uncertainty. If the last manager wasn't given enough time, what happens now? If Martin is removed before his project takes shape, does the cycle just start again? These are questions that hang over Ibrox like a cloud, and only results can clear them. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Whispers are swirling through the football grapevine, and it seems one of the Premier League's most talked about young talents might be packing his bags sooner rather than later. Ryan Matondo, the nimble winger who's been turning heads with his dazzling pace and clever footwork, is reportedly on the brink of sealing a move to French side Rennes. While nothing has yet been officially confirmed, insiders suggest the deal could be inked within days, sending ripples across the European transfer scene. Sources close to the player hint that Rennes have been monitoring Matondo for months, impressed by his ability to slice through defenses and deliver in clutch moments. With the League One outfit keen to bolster their squad ahead of a challenging season, it appears they see Matondo as the ideal addition to their attacking lineup. Meanwhile, chatter among fans on social media has reached a fever pitch, with supporters speculating how the Scottish winger will adapt to life in France and whether he'll hit the ground running or need time to adjust to a new league and style of play. Matondo himself has remained characteristically tight-lipped, though a few cryptic posts on his accounts have only added fuel to the fire. Teammates and coaches from his current club have hinted at an exciting opportunity on the horizon, but stopped short of confirming the transfer. Meanwhile, Rennes insiders are said to be quietly confident that the deal will go through, seeing it as a statement signing that signals their intent to challenge at the top end of League One. If the move materializes, it would mark a significant step in Matondo's career, providing him with the platform to showcase his skills on a larger European stage and potentially catch the eye of scouts from some of the continent's elite clubs. For Rennes, it could be a shrewd coup, blending youthful energy with technical prowess in a squad already noted for its ambition and flair. Fans across Scotland and France alike will be watching closely, eager to see whether this rumored transfer turns out to be a masterstroke or merely another whisper in the transfer market's ever-churning machine. For now, all eyes remain fixed on Rennes and the player himself, as the footballing world waits with bated breath to see if the rumors are true and Ryan Matondo will soon be donning the red jersey of one of France's most ambitious sides. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.